time every single day.
Yeah.
I think that's what really matters. It doesn't, all the extra stuff, like pre-workout, I'm just getting to all of it now. Pre-workout, great, amazing. Pre-workout's not gonna give me bigger biceps. It's just a tool to help me have more energy so I can lift a little bit heavier, maybe. Maybe. If I just drunk a lot of water and I got enough sleep, should I even need pre-workout? The answer is no.
Yeah.
You should have energy.
I don't take pre-workout at all. Because
he's stronger than me.
I don't know, but maybe some things. But you don't need, if you don't feel like you need it, you shouldn't take it just because you feel like you have to.
Yeah.
So it's caffeine. So
if you
want energy, what I do, I eat before I go down to the gym. I lift pretty late at night because of work, but I eat dinner before I go down and I have a shake when I get back. Do I need to mix in pre-workout at 10 p.m. at night and then lay awake until 2 a.m. just buzzing because I feel like I have to? No. So if you work a lot of hours, or you're a student and you have a long day and you need a little boost to go into the gym, that's what it's for. It's a tool. It's just another tool.
You could just drink a coffee.
Yeah, black coffee.
That's completely fine.
There's substitutes for it, but again, I think where Kenny and my training methodology pretty much lines up exactly is finding something that works for you. And we have both shared a lot of knowledge with each other, I feel like, through a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Even before Kenny was involved in like lifting and stuff like that, he was really good at jumping. He was really fast and he was really athletic. So if he would have come up to me the one day, if I would have had any interest in jumping, which I'm not built for at all, I would have listened to him because he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
So if you have two people that are telling you this is what worked for us and we're lining up identically, coming from different sides of it and doing a bunch of different stuff, I think that's a pretty good model to follow. So as long as you're consistent and it's a model that's sustainable, that you're not going to get burnt out on, you're not going to get hurt, or you're not going to put yourself in a financial hole buying supplements that you don't need, that's all really good stuff, and that will help you be a lifelong lifter.
And it's all about longevity here.
Yeah.
Because I don't care if let's say you bulk up. We'll get into bulking next. Let's say you bulk up, you put on 40 pounds, took you like a year and a half, 2 years, whatever it takes you. I don't really know how you're going to do this. And then you get injured. You can't lift for 6 months. That's gone, bruh.
Yeah.
Everything that you did, everything that you grinded for, it's over. It's over, son. So you might as well just train within your means.
Yep.
So you can do it for longer. Because let's say some dude is progressing very, very quickly. He's kicking my ass in the gym. He's beating me every day. But he's getting really, really close to overtraining.
Yep.
Oh, that's fine. I see those kids on Instagram. That's fine. I'll beat him in the long run, though.
Yeah.
Because he won't be in the gym for 5 years. 5 years of no injuries is way better than getting super big really fast and doing all that. So, I learned that the hard way. I'm talking like I know, but like, I did it. So
who was that guy that bulked up and lost it all?
That was me.
His name was Benny Burlington.
Oh my God, dude.
It's hard, man. And this is, again, I found some relief in training by getting back on a program written by somebody who I knew more than me.
Yeah.
So I think
humble yourself.
There's a lot of pressure in writing your own workouts.
Oh my God, I hit my nose. I'm sorry.
That's okay. But there's a lot of pressure in writing your own workouts because, like, you just feel like you're never doing enough, or maybe you feel like you're doing too much and you're not pushing yourself enough. So there's both sides of that coin. And if you're a person that is motivated, or you're an athlete or something like that, I feel like most of you would fall into the trap of I'm not doing enough.
Yeah.
And that's a slippery slope, because a lot of the time I feel like if you just stick to a normal program and you are patient with it, you'll be fine and you will see results. If you're under the impression of like, I want to see some results, you might see incrementally stronger results if you really go balls to the wall for a short period of time, but the likelihood that you'll get injured is higher. So it's a risk-reward thing. So I think a sustainable approach where you use functional movements and you're comfortable with them, that's all really good stuff. And then you have guys like David Goggins who are just freaks. But you also have to understand, like, he's legitimately built for it.
He's
in the
for
genetic
that.
1%, and the man was a Navy SEAL and runs ultramarathons. You
It's
can't
different.
can't use that as a standard for your personal training. If you want to use his motivation,
Yeah.
that's a really strong tool. I just read his book, and it makes you want to run through a fucking wall.
He's amazing.
But to say I'm going to be a bitch if I don't train like David Goggins is also equally stupid, and he would probably tell you that too.
I'd have to agree. No, I don't think he'd tell you. He's crazy.
He might just call you a bitch.
He might just call you a bitch. But at the same time, I think there's a place for everything, right? And there's a lot of people that when it comes to chasing their dreams and getting to where they want to go and having these very, very high goals, I think it does take that David Goggins approach.
Yeah.
So, but to the person that wants to lose 10 pounds or the guy that just, wants to look a little bit better, you don't have to go that hard, bro.
Yeah.
It really ain't that. It's slow and steady. But for the people that want to get into bodybuilding or become a pro,
right,
or people that want to be the best powerlifter in their state, in the country, you have to have that dialed in mindset where it's like, I will not be stopped. But I think where the best athletes are is where they have that David Goggins mindset with also the understanding that they want to recover like David Goggins as well. And
right.
If you're just as excited about benching 315 as you are about sleeping,
right,
then you'll be successful. But it's those guys that oh yeah, I don't need sleep, I don't need that.
Right.
Okay, you're a fool.
that is a gold nugget of information that you just said, because everybody sees the videos where he's who's gonna fucking carry the boats or whatever he says. he's like running a billion miles and like all this stuff. But what you don't see is his active recovery, his rest, his diet. So like Kenny was saying, like if you'd ask David Goggins, should I go balls to the wall? Of course he'd say yes, but from a fundamental training perspective, you also have to understand where he's coming from. He's an ultramarathoner, right? Man's one of the hardest people on planet Earth.
He is. I think he's the baddest.
Probably. He's up there. Yeah. I don't know who you say.
Maybe Putin. I mean, that dude don't care.
Vladimir's
crazy now.
John Cena. The invisibility advantage. But I don't know. Like, it's all perspective. So if you're training to be a Navy SEAL or you're training to be an ultramarathoner, you have to train like that. And I'm 25. Yeah. If I would, maybe some of the stuff I was saying this to my college stuff, I'd think I was a bitch. Like if you're an athlete and you're in athletics or you're in some hyper competitive sport, like Kenny was saying, you're training to be the best. You want to be a professional bodybuilder, or you want to be a state record holder powerlifter. Like, you have to sacrifice your health to get there to a certain extent. Yep. So there's parts of that. I am training at this point in my life more to feel good about myself, for functional wellness, and I don't want to be weak. And that's what makes me feel good. So that's the perspective I have. I've also dealt with a lot of injuries. It's annoying. You get tired of it. So sort of fall into the line of like train smarter type thing. Yeah. But you also can go pretty fucking hard if you train smart.
If you train smart, you can train hard. And I think, some people will see like some of my workouts or like how I look and, the density of the muscle or something like that. This didn't happen overnight.
Right.
And when I'll put a better example is Larry Wheels. I know he's enhanced. We all know this isn't
lifetime natty.
Yeah, lifetime natty.
Can't convince me otherwise.
And you'll see him curling 225 for reps. But people don't understand how much work went into that. Even though he is enhanced, he still was 13, 14 years old, breaking records, taking names, like all that work. Then you can have the glory. Then you can do some crazy stuff. But a lot of people just don't want to put in that work to build the foundation.
Yeah. Exactly. You can't do the rest without the stepping stones for it. Yeah. And there's a lot that goes into that, right? But that's if our audience right now is kids that got into high school that want to get into lifting, even if you're in college and you want to get into lifting, but you're an adult.
It's never too late. It's never too late.
Yeah, you could be in your fucking 30s or 40s and get into lifting, right? Yes. But there's different approaches for it. So that's the importance of involving a coach who can tell you what's some realistic goals for yourself. But it's also like how to be safe and how to build that foundation. So like, I think Mark Bell always talks about being like a lifelong lifter and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You can do it. You could lift into your 60s, especially with like modern medicine and stuff.
Yeah.
But you're not even going to get there if you're training like an idiot in your 20s.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's all dependent on how much of a sacrifice do you want to make for your goals, how much of your body do you want to sacrifice, and what that means. But if you have no goals, like if you're me and I'm not competing in anything, I have no plans to compete in anything, and I'm just going and I'm herniating myself every Wednesday down at the Birdsboro Y, you know, like what's the point type thing, you know, like who is that training for, right? Is that an ego thing, or do I just not understand functional training? So that's where you have to determine what camp you fall into.
Yeah, but I still like what you said though. I'm already forgot it, but Adam went into. He said, "I train because I don't want to be weak." Mm-hmm. It was like something else and something else. He has a why. Yeah. He has a reason that matters to him. It's almost emotional. Like what man wants to be weak? That obviously matters to you as a man. So, and people wonder why they're not consistent. You know, I mean, it's true. People wonder why they're not consistent. I tell them, you have no emotional why.
Yeah.
Nor if let's say it wasn't emotional. I'm like, why are you training? They say, I don't know. That's when you don't even know why you're doing it.
Yeah. Then at that point, like, why are you training? If you can't answer that question, if you don't have some modicum of internal motivation, you're not really gonna see great results, I would say. I think some people can just coast, like Kenny, genetically. I know you guys all fuck with him about how good his genetics are on TikTok. This man genetically is really impressive. So
Thank
you have a guy like this who could coast, and he could get better results than probably I could doing the same shit. Maybe even working less hard than I do. But that should get you fired up alone, you know?
It does. See, that's important.
So that doesn't piss you off a little bit, then, you know, figure something else out that doesn't. That will make your training easier. If you can figure out your why, then it's not really a problem to show up to the gym. It's just kind of part of your day. So,
because kind of on the dark side of training, it's just like this to put on size, like a reasonable amount of size.
Yeah,
it is very, very difficult, especially once you really start training for a few years, get rid of those newbie gains.
Yeah.
For every single inch of muscle I have in my body, I know my genetics are great, but if I'm getting bigger, I worked my ass off for it.
Yep.
And if you don't want to wake up at 8 a.m., slam a protein shake with so many carbs in it, it makes you want to throw up. We're getting into bulking right now. And then you have to eat a meal in the next 2 hours, which has, you know, a family serving of rice, and then some chicken, and a PB&J, then another protein shake, then cream of rice for the gym. That's what I do. And so, and some people's like, it's not. This is not a normal life.
Yeah,
like it's not normal.
It's not. Yeah, that's the like you said. That's like the darker side of bodybuilding, right?
It's so dark. Oh my god.
So we don't have to go down that rabbit hole right now because there's a lot.
They're gonna ask now.
There's a lot to that. You could make a whole episode about that.
I'm gonna have to.
Like body dysmorphia type shit.
I'm gonna have to go to the dark side of bodybuilding. I'm gonna have to let that out.
Demon time.
Demon time bodybuilders. I'm like Anakin Skywalker after he freaking comes out. Yo, because it's dark, bro. Like, I think you were the first person actually that made me realize what it takes to do a real bulk. And we're not even talking dirty bulk, just a real bulk. Like I was struggling at the point. I came to you in a time of need.
On his hands and knees, begging. I would. So dude, this is also a good background time. Like, we were both very thin.
Yeah.
And all through high school, I would say we were both. I'm like in between 6'2" and 6'3". You're over like 6'1".
Yeah, I'm like 6'1".
Yeah, so taller guys in like the high school setting, but I don't think I weighed a pound over maybe like 175 as a senior.
Same.
Like,
I didn't touch 180 until college.
Yeah, so this is something that I wish playing football in high school and throwing in high school and college. I didn't really understand that portion of it, like what it actually takes to put on muscle and you know, just functional weight for sports performance. It's hard. Like, you think you're eating a lot and maybe you're only eating like a little bit. So again, great time to involve a coach who can tell you, count calories for you, tell you if you're in a deficit or a surplus and stuff like that. But bulking, if you aren't, and I mean, certain people put on weight easier than others. Certain people.
That's just true. We do not deny
that. That is a fact. Like you can't deny the. I don't know how far you need to get in it with the ectomorph, endomorph, mesomorph.
Yeah, because some of that's cap.
Yeah, because that's a cop out. At a certain point, if you want to put on weight, you can put on weight. If you want to lose weight, lose weight.
Yeah.
But that's all to say, it is hard. Like you have to push yourself, and it's just another thing where if you have some internal motivation and you want to, this is going back to Wendler. This is why I identify with his training methodology so much. Training with a purpose, eating with a purpose, sleeping with a purpose. So it's all just accomplishing your goals. So for bulking, I really didn't start putting on weight and didn't really understand how much I had to eat until I was like a junior in college. Wow. It took me that long. Like as a freshman, I really would try, but again, it's things that have to happen concurrently. So if you're not lifting a lot, but you're just eating a lot, you're just going to get fat.
Please
not
know that.
Get big. So please no. Yeah. Or if you're just like, and this is something that Dane would always say as well, and we can get into who Dane is and stuff like that, and why he's a tremendous resource and a fountain of knowledge, probably the best Olympic lifting coach in the United States, will probably be one of them in the world by the time
he trains Olympians, like real people in the Olympics.
He knows so much.
He trains people in the Olympics, so y'all can get it.
Yeah, he's great. But there's stuff that a coach can tell you that you might not even realize. Like maybe you heard from the biggest guy in your high school, like if you want to get big, you got to go to McDonald's every day or something like that. It's actually easier from a Kenny perspective, from a bodybuilder. If you put on weight, it's going to be more work putting it on with good whole foods, but you're going to shed that weight easier than if you put it on with saturated fats and stuff like that. Yeah. So there's little stuff like that where you might not even know that, and maybe you're training with a purpose and you have good intentions, but you're impeding your own progress by not being educated about it. So, like I said, I always thought I was working with Dane from high school through very sparingly.